risk-based monitoring. So it's obvious that the desire is there, but certainly I think so far the amount of implementation has been fairly modest across the industry. And like you say, I think people are still trying to figure out and get procedures and plans in place so that they can guide their folks on it.
I don't believe that there's any one right approach to it. I think that each individual pharmaceutical company, biotech company, has to look at what will work and what will work with regard to the risk of the trial that they're trying to implement it. There are a number of companies that have very successfully implemented this, and I think we'll move forward with other trials, and we'll learn more and more as we move forward.
Right, exactly. And I agree. You know, it's interesting. You know, as you know, I asked a very pointed question to the panel the other day that you were on, asking for opinions on ultimately, as an overall average, while it'll vary from trial to trial, what do we think the targeted overall percentage of data, you know, that we're going to target for SDV will be as kind of an industry average once the industry has really gotten full hold of this and implemented it. What was interesting is you know, I was very interested in your answer, and I happen to agree with it, by the way, but it was you know, less than 20% as an overall average. And I think some people in the audience and even on the panel thought that somewhat controversial.
Right.
Was the indication I got. Any thoughts from your perspective on you know, coming up with that number? And
Right. I think probably 20 to 25% has been where we've started. I think the approach is so new that people will have to hone their approach, get comfortable with the quality of the data, and then maybe they will be able to take it down even further. I think I quoted to you from a conference, city conference, where we discussed with some of the FDA personnel what we were doing, and they felt like that we were doing too much and that we could take it down to 10%.
Right.
And so I firmly believe that if you combine a targeted approach, which you define your baseline, and you add a triggered approach, where if you are finding problems and that triggers additional source data verification, my personal opinion is that's the best approach that you should take. Because again, 80% of your sites, roughly 80% of your sites, are going to be doing a good job if you've done your feasibilities correctly.
Right. No, great point. And it's that 10 or 20% that you have to use those central measures to detect emerging issues and
trigger increases
SDV.
in
SDV and so and spend more monitoring time at those sites to course correct on those.
And that's where you want to spend your time. You want to identify the sites that have good processes, good quality processes, and hopefully not put as much time in them, but put the time in the ones that need the additional hand-holding or assistance to be in compliance, and try to bring them into compliance and provide quality data.
Yeah, exactly. No, great. It's great stuff, and thanks again
You're
for
welcome.
your participation and your leadership in these discussions this week. It was fantastic.
Thank you
So
very
more to
much.
come on risk-based monitoring.
Thank you.